Jackie Kashian, Laurie Kilmartin.
Hey guys, it's Laurie Kilmartin of the Jackie and Laurie Show. I think you're well aware of who I am. Listen, it's that time of year. It's the Max Fun Drive. We will talk more about that a little bit later, but just for now, just know this is the time of year where we celebrate Max Fun members, and we remind you that this show exists because people like you support it at $5 a month or more. Some of you really do chip in, and some of you do the minimum. Do what you can. You can find out more and join at MaximumFun.org. Jackie, any thoughts?
I think that they should support us because they get a lot of extra cool stuff, and that'll be super fun. Let's do the show.
Okay.
And here we are. It's late at night on the East Coast.
Yes, it's
Laurie
midnight.
Kilmartin.
I'm returning tomorrow.
Right. It is 9 p.m. I have been traveling for much of this day from the East Coast of the West Coast of Oregon. And then I've come in. Yes.
Tell me the whole thing. Tell me about the festival. Tell me about the travel.
Right.
I mean, what else are we doing here, Jackie? No need to.
Well, let me tell you.
Time.
So here's what's happening is, first of all, it's called the Cannon Beach Comedy Festival, and it is in Cannon Beach, Oregon. It was the 5th year. And what it is it's sort of 4 headliners and then 3 Portland comics each night as well. So the first night was our Aparna Nancherla and James Adomian, each doing 25-30s. And then the 3 comics from Portland doing 10s, essentially. And then the second night was Hari Kondabolu and myself, each doing 25-30s, and 3 different comics from Portland. So, Baron Vaughn texted me.
Really cool show. Fun lineup.
Really, really amazing lineup. And Baron Vaughn texted me. He said, "Did that Andrew guy know that he booked 2 Armenians and 2 Indians? Did he do that on purpose?" And we kept forgetting to ask him because none of us noticed. Like, I noticed because Baron told me, and then I mentioned it to Hari, and Hari was like, "Oh my God." And it's funny because Hari and Aparna are from the same, their families are from the same state in India as well.
Wow. Now, does India and Armenia, are they at loggerheads? Like, was conflict expected between the 2 teams, the 2 nations?
Well, what we did like is that it wasn't an all Armenian night and an all Indian night, that he mixed and matched.
Yeah.
And that was nice. And so we all flew separately, of course, because it's America, and drove separately. And I wanted to carpool, but I wanted to get there early because I didn't know what ever since that Telluride gig, I swear to God, 30 years ago, I drove at night once, and I decided I never wanted to drive overnight again from a gig. And since Telluride, I've decided I've never wanted to drive against a cliff again. So.
Oh, right. So, well, Telluride. Oh, yeah, you drove yourself to Telluride. Yeah, scary shit.
Right. That was scary. Yeah.
So you were driving at night there, or
I wasn't. So I came early, but James and I think Aparna both came in. James came in late. Like, the whole town shut down at 9:00.
Oh, wow.
And so he made a joke about how there ought to be neon saying, "Hey, pull over, get something besides a candy bar if you were going to want to eat something at 10:00 at night."
My first thought was snacks. I need snacks available to me 24 hours a day. And when a town shuts down, I feel trapped like a rat. I hate it.
Right. And it was a motel. So there was no closet of food next to the check-in.
Right.
So, but the motel was like a half a block from the ocean, and it was 43 degrees, felt like 30. The wind and the rain and the hail and the snow would not stop. It would essentially. So I got there on Thursday. My show wasn't until Saturday, but I was like, I'm going to go early because this guy says it's gorgeous, and it was indeed very, very beautiful. and I also had to tape an episode of The Bugle, which is a podcast out of England, with NATO Green, and I did
How was
that
it?
Friday morning. So it came out today. It's very topical, and so I had to write topical, and NATO wrote like literally 4 pages of rants. He's done it a lot more than I have. I've only
Sure.
done it twice.
Yeah.
So super fun though. And so I get there and it wasn't cliffy, though I will say Saturday I drove out of town and drove to the next town over because everyone I met in Cannon Beach they didn't live in Cannon Beach. They lived in Seaside, the next town over. And I was like, well, what's there? So I drove over there, and it turns out that's where they have the McDonald's. So it wasn't really worth the drive. But when because I didn't go to the McDonald's, I just went to a drive-through espresso place. There was at least 4 places to get coffee every 2 blocks. But so I drive back, and as I'm coming in, the first hotel lodge kind of place had a bunch of people kind of milling around with their phones out. And I thought they were taking pictures of the most realistic elk statues I had ever seen, but they were actual elk.
Oh, Jackie, you've been in the concrete of Van Nuys for too long. You don't even recognize
Right, it was
flesh and blood mammals when you see them.
right. It was pretty amazing. And then yeah, and then so we do but the shows were amazing. Aparna goes up. Aparna just destroys, and she has the silliest, awesomest bit about cats versus super models, and
She's very silly.
for the Mac, she's very silly, very smart,
yes, very funny, very silly. I love it.
And I on the Max Fun, the one that's behind the paywall, I was going to tell the jokes. But I'm not going to tell the jokes. I'm just going to tell you about the jokes, and just because I'm going to ruin the jokes anyway. You should definitely find a Parna Ninja and see the new cat bit, is what I'm saying. Followed by James Adomian, who's the setup to this joke was, I'm going to tell you 3 things. 2 of them are still true. I'm a gay man, I'm 45, and I'm fat. And the punchline is just, there's like 3 punchlines after that, and it's epic. And then all of the local comics all had they were really great comics. Out of one woman started stand-up when she was 60, and she's been doing it for 7 years.
Oh, cool.
And she asked me how old I was in front of everybody, and you should have heard the silence. And then she looked at me and said, "Is it okay to ask you?" And I almost said out loud, "Well, Laurie's ruined it if I ever wanted to lie."
No, I've stopped
Because she
saying,
told
Jackie.
everybody 7
Well,
years ago.
Well, go back and listen to the archives, you lazy pieces of shit. You won't, so you never know.
Right. We're both going to turn 42 this year. And so she was very funny. Everybody was great. There was a guy named Will, there was a guy named Lee, there was a guy named Adam, there was another guy named Andrew Slater. I knew him.
Oh yeah,
I had met everyone, of course. And then I met them again. It was all very exciting. Yeah.
Well, you know what's weird? Just like all that great comedy's happening, and then there's all these comedy fans that they only listen to male comics that have podcasts, and they think that's the whole world. And so if Bill Burr does one joke about Gaza, they're like, "I'm betrayed," and now they hate comedy, and it's like, you aren't even comedy fans. You are personality fans. And you don't know about so many little pockets of comedy that are so fucking good because your brain can't take it in. You're not a comedy fan. You're an alpha male fan. And so one of your alphas goes off track, makes a left turn, you can't handle it. All this great fucking comedy's happening.
What happened with Bill Burr this week? I didn't get the lowdown. Did he do a joke about Trump and everybody? Because half the people were saying that he was the new George Carlin, and then half the people were saying that he had betrayed them. And I was like, what did?
Yes,
what
there was like
do?
a big, but Yes. Gianmarco Cerisi quote tweeted, just somebody who's like obsessed with Israel was like, because he did a bit about not using, babies, not shooting babies. To me, it was
Oh,
non-controversial.
you're right. He wasn't taking a huge stand. It was,
I mean,
hey, don't shoot babies.
and it was the funny thing, he had a funny thing after. It's definitely worth watching, but of course it was taken by a certain group, people that are just fucking obsessed with that, as, oh, he turned his back on us, and then other stuff, it I would not want to be that famous where you have these kind of fans that are so hooked into what they think who they think you are, so that when you do material that goes in a different direction, they can't fucking handle it. Like, why not just
Right.
be interested? If you like a comic, see where they go. Why not be interested in it and enjoy it?
Right.
Because you
I have to
trust their
say that
brain.
maybe
Sorry,
10 years ago, maybe 4, God knows, it's all a blur.
I know.
Brian Regan was doing a joke about guns. There's a very funny joke right now about guns.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
probably on one of his specials already, but we were in Florida and it was brand new. And so he was just talking about guns. And all of a sudden the audience tightened up on him. And he actually paused and said, "You guys, it's me. It's going to be fun." I might have told you that story before. And then it was just, I mean, it was just it was about how he didn't like them. He found them very dangerous.
Yeah,
He wasn't taking a huge stand either, but it was very funny.
yeah. It I don't know, it's just mind-boggling. And then there's this whole comedy obsession that's not really about comedy. It's about the boys, the podcast boys. They're these, and the
Right.
people that listen, they're fans of their lifestyles. They're fans of however they
Yeah,
portray
they
their
think that they drink a
lifestyles.
lot, like day drinker. I think that
Drink
they think they day
and work
drink.
out all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, those two, it's
Yeah.
one or the other. Okay, someone's lying. Okay, and they're taking whatever they're doing. They're fans of the lifestyle, and they don't know
Yeah.
shit about comedy, and they're not comedy fans. They never mention any women that they like because they don't like women. They like the male lifestyle that's being presented in comedy podcasts. They don't like women. Okay, they don't
Yeah.
like any women.
Yeah.
It's not even on their radar to listen and hate. It's just like, oh, that, I don't know what they're doing, but it's not. I can't possibly let that
I
go
don't
on my
think it has
brain.
anything. I think you're right. I don't think it has anything to do with actual comedy.
Not at all.
It doesn't
Not
have
at
anything
all.
to do with stand up.
But
Yeah. It's very weird.
they have the language of comedy fans. We've had in 2 separate chats. You and I were both at another female comics in 2 separate chats. Said, oh, you weren't in the other one because you're out of that chat. So another comic besides the one we were just talking to said somebody went onto their Instagram after a joke on a reel and it's like, that's stolen. You took it for da 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 da. And it's like both of
Some
them are
dude.
like, I don't know who you are, and I don't know. I've never seen this comics like act like they think they know what stealing is because Joe Rogan complained about Carlos Mencia or something. They don't know about
Oh,
parallel thought. They don't know some jokes are
right.
like there's 20 million comedians. I bet a lot of us are doing the
Right.
same shit. I can't see
Right. We're
everybody.
all talking about driving. It's happening.
Right.
I did the pleasure chest last week, and this
Yeah.
woman got up and who the hell was it? I'm so sorry, I can't remember. They were great. But all I could hear while they were on stage was them talking about driving and texting.
Mhm.
And I'm like, well, I have a bit about driving and texting.
Yeah.
And guess
Yeah.
what? We're all gonna have a bit about driving and texting, or any other topic, and then it's
Yeah.
and the joke may be relatively obvious, so it might become verbatim. Like it might be the same
Yeah.
fucking joke.
And plus, I mean, I can't stand watching comedy most of the time. Like if I'm next, I'll peek in and see what's going on, but I'm not going to sit there and watch even 8 comics in front of me. I'm hoping I don't touch the
Right.
same shit that they do, but I don't know. I can't
Right.
keep track of everyone's new shit or their old shit.
Right. It's
Unbelievable.
I watched some of it. We were sort of trapped backstage. There was no real way to get out. So like I would go and I would stand and I would watch a little bit of each set.
Yeah.
Except for Aparna, I genuinely wanted to see Aparna's, and we were only doing 25s.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And it also like when it's someone you know and you like, and you're like, I'm just saying, like, you can't watch that much.
right.
You can't take that much comedy in as a comic because you're
Nope.
putting it out. It's
Yep.
you can take in a little bit, but you really need to focus on putting it out. So you can't listen to them. I mean, I listened to Burr when I was walking today, but I was in and out. I was thinking about other stuff, and I'd be like, "Wait, what did he say?" So even I can't even pay attention when I'm not doing anything else, you know. So
Right. And you're just trying to sort of get the gist of it, just kind
yeah,
of scrubbing
just
through it.
and
But
just these like
yeah,
fucking dumb shit podcast fans getting in, and it's always female comics. They never say, "Hey, this male comic stole your joke." They're always like, "No, you stole this
right,
guy's joke." Why do you think I'm
right.
the thief? It can't in your brain
Yeah.
be like that. I wrote that joke first. That I'm a better comic
No,
than your little
there
buddy you
was
jerk
some
off to in your head.
yeah. What was the name of the um? Some comic was talking about how um because I often give Andy the punchline, right?
Yeah.
So if I give this has happened to me, so I'll just talk about myself. Is
Okay.
I've given Andy the punchline, and people have said, "Well, he said the funny thing." Well, he said the funny thing because I gave him the punchline,
Yeah.
and it's not that
Thanks
he
to
wasn't
me.
funny in the moment,
Yeah. Right.
right?
Yeah.
Right, but it's I mean, there's no reason to freak the fuck
It's
out.
called writing. It's called writing.
Yes,
We're engineering little stories here. Okay.
yes, yes. I tried to get Hari Kondabolu to finish my Karen joke for me. I was like, "What do you got? What do you got? You got an angle? You got an angle?" And so because he had some really interesting sort of he's got a young child. So he did some child stuff. And then he also had this thing about ACAB, all cops are
Oh.
bastards.
Yeah.
And but it was a wordplay thing that was so beautifully constructed. You would have
Ooh.
loved it because he did it as a callback at the end
Oh.
of his set
Hello.
or
I
near
love it.
the
That's
I don't know if
cool.
he's doing it in his hour, but in that 25 minutes that he called back to it as a closer. And but the word just the language usage was so beautiful. I was pleased as punch.
That's
And
cool.
I
And
like
where does
my
he live
jokes, but
now?
sometimes he
Oh.
lives in New York. He grew up in
Okay.
Queens
Okay.
and he lives in Brooklyn and he loves Seattle. He's done the Dork. Actually tomorrow's Dork Forest will be Tuesday's Dork Forest will be with him. He's talking about baseball. Yeah, but the history of baseball and sort of personalities. So kind of fun. And because I don't know anything
I'll be
about
sure
baseball.
to tune out.
After the show last night, Hari had an early drive the next day. And Aparna left on Saturday. It was very sad. But so James and I went with a fan. Okay. So we went and a very, very beautiful fan who had come to both nights and had messaged me and said they were coming, brought James and I t-shirts written in Armenian and one for Hari written in that language. That's right. And live and learn, Jackie. I can be taught, but clearly
Jackie
spaced
just
it.
did the hey champ of languages. Hey buddy, what's up, champ? How you doing, pal?
Please call the show Hey Champ. Okay. So this episode, but also because I have said here, and I also say on the Dork Forest that I would like people to hand me just a sweaty wad of hundreds, or 20s, like just $100.
Yeah,
And
you just increased it by fivefold. I like
yeah,
that.
sweaty. Yeah, by it was amazing. they gave me a stack of $2 bills. And the funny thing about that is they hadn't heard my $2 bill joke.
Oh, well,
So it was just a
you
weird
have to accept
coincidence.
the money now. Yes.
Oh, I completely accepted the money and I used it for tips all day long. There was some drama at the airport. Hey, do you want to take a quick break, Kyle?
I think that sounds like a great idea.
So I just want to interject here and just say this is the one time of year that we all come together to invite you to support the show as a member or by boosting or upgrading your membership, right? So Max Fun membership pays for the shows and you get to choose who gets your contribution. Essentially, you just click on what show you listen to the most, that you like the best, the main contribution will go to. The name of our show is the Jackie and Laurie Show. Say it with me. There you go.
Please.
And why is membership support key, Laurie?
Well, here's the thing. This is how we make a little bit of money, okay? And it's supported by members instead of we have no commercials, as you've heard. We don't try to sell you anything. I hear these big podcasts pitching this fucking therapy that you do over Zoom that who knows who's listening in on that shit, okay? I hear the big pods. They've got their mattresses. They've got, I don't know what else they're doing. We are bare bones. This is your therapy, listening to us, okay?
It's right.
So
we just want to
what
keep
we're
the show
saying is,
independent. Yeah.
Keep us doing this, please. We are not big podcasters. I mean, we should be, but we have a very small targeted audience, and let's
Fierce.
keep it. Please don't leave us.
Let's keep it going.
Just invite one angry friend a year to listen to us, and that's how we stay afloat. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's important to support art that you enjoy, obviously. So will you please join us as a member? If you are not a member, please join us as a member. The basic one is $5 a month.
Yeah.
And 5 times 12 is a certain amount of money. You guys can do the math. I don't have it offhand. I believe it to be $60.
That's
there you go.
If this show gives you that kind of enjoyment, $60 a month is not that much a year. I mean, $60 a month is nice. Thank you. A year, that's
Thank you very
nothing.
much.
And guys, you have to pay for shit at some point. You know, you can't keep taking everything for free. You know, I get mad when I see an article behind a paywall, but I'm like, hey, I don't pay for the New York Times anymore, so I don't deserve to read that, right?
2.5 paragraphs, all you're getting. That's it.
And then it starts to fade out. I'll get the gist of it from the comments in Twitter. But here's my point. You know, you can't. Napster ruined everything. It got everyone to think they should just be able to have shit for free. We aren't trust fund kids. All right, I'm not Patrick Schwarzenegger, who I'm just watching on the White Lotus. He's a Kennedy and a Schwarzenegger, and it shows. All right,
it's working out. It's working out for him.
Life. That's not what you and I bring. Okay, so if you guys get any pleasure from this, we are very consistent. We're here an hour.
We are consistent.
We're extremely consistent.
Right. So you can join, you could upgrade. Like if you're already doing the $60 a year, you can upgrade if you can, or boost your membership. So all the memberships start at $5 a month, and that $5 a month get access to the entire library of bonus content for all of the shows.
Yeah, I mean, we'll do a bonus podcast, but then you'll get the other pods bonus.
7 years of them, right? Yeah.
I don't know.
And you can do the old ones too. And what are we going to do this year? This year, I'm going to name names. That's it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bitch so hard about things that I'm mad about. Or what do you think? Maybe I'll just celebrate people. Is that bonus names that everyone wanted to hear?
Boring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boo. No one wants to hear you celebrate people.
And by the way, you could pay the whole year if you have $60. If monthly isn't your thing, and it's not mine, I would rather just throw $100 a year at somebody, but you can hit the prepay toggle at the top of the page when you visit MaximumFun.org/join.
You know, Jackie, I am doing a lot of paying for journalists. I pay for Ken Clifford.
That was actually 4 minutes just about there, so I think we're actually good if we want.
Okay, cool. Jackie, just to continue though, I am paying
Yeah,
for independent journalism. ProPublica.
you do it.
I
Okay.
Taylor Lorenz. I keep trying to sign up and somehow it's not working, but I am going to. Ken Klippenstein, uh, Marisa Cabasas, I think, a bunch of people that are just kind of working on their own and like
I
breaking
do Heather
stories.
Cox Richardson,
Right? Yes, it's
and
important
I
to.
think I do Jeff Dietrich.
Oh,
You
that
know
guy,
Jeff.
Brooklyn Dad. Is that
Hmm.
guy? Jackie.
I know
Wait, you
he kind
pay
of makes
him?
me laugh.
You
I
pay
know
him,
it's not. I think I pay him $60 a year.
Jackie. He
Okay,
Jackie.
lateral. You want me to go somewhere lateral? Okay.
Yeah, ProPublica. Or
Okay.
you know what, LAist as well. Or if you have a local independent at in your hometown,
I also do.
Gothamist in New
I
York
also do
City.
ground news. You do
Okay,
ground news,
I don't do ground news. I've not
but
heard of it yet, but I'm always interested.
ground
I
news
do drop
shows
sites.
you. Oh wow,
Yeah,
good lord, Laurie.
yeah.
Yeah, you're doing a bunch.
I'm paying because otherwise we don't have a media anymore. We have to
Yeah,
start paying for these people to do actual real journalism.
yeah. It's just like paying for the paper when we were kids. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I think my parents got 2 papers a day. They got the morning and the afternoon, or they just got the afternoon. I can't remember, but um, there were 2 papers in Milwaukee. You get the Milwaukee Sentinel in the morning, and that often had Calvin and Hobbes in it. And then you'd get the afternoon,
I love
which
they broke Watergate, Calvin and Hobbes, so I'm always a big fan of them. So definitely pay for that.
it's so how is New York? New York sets.
Oh, well, it's been okay. So I did 4 days of working on the screenplay with my writing partner Sarah, and
Right.
three of the day. Pardon?
Right.
Okay,
That's all.
so three
I
of the
just said right.
days I went out to Princeton to work with her. Right? She came out to Manhattan on one day. She has a young kid, so I was like, I can come out there. It's easier. But it was uh Princeton Junction, which is the train station. They have a memorial to 9/11. The 9/11. Did I tell you about this last time? The 9/11,
No,
right?
no,
The
I've
people
been
that
to that
died.
train station though.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the Princeton Junction, the people that died on 9/11 that took that train, and I every day I was on it, and this was like 3 days. I'm like, how the fuck do these people do this every day? Just taking a train, whether it's Amtrak, which is a little faster but more expensive, or New Jersey Transit to Penn Station. Oh my God, every
Right.
fucking day,
Right.
and then you die in a skyscraper? No, thank you. I reject dying on
See,
9/11,
wait,
Jackie.
were you? It was a right. You have to do a 9/11 joke at the end of the talking of that. But I will say that I've been to that Princeton Junction,
Uh-huh,
and because I used to do the Catch a Rising Star at the Hilton outside of Princeton,
uh-huh.
and that woman I think is still there. She crawled into a bottle about 25 years ago, and she would. The last time I did it, and I won't be doing it again
So she's an
because
alcoholic, is what you're saying?
I don't. Not for me to say. Turns out. She was
Oh,
certainly drunk every time I met her,
okay.
but that doesn't make her an alcoholic. Maybe she's just a heavy drinker. Maybe other days when she's not at the club. All I know is that the last time I worked there, she was like, "Here's what I don't want to see. I don't want to see you ever look at your watch on stage. I put up a clock. I put up a clock. You look at the clock." And I get to I go into the club
I
room.
like that rule.
She's bought a clock that doesn't have a light.
Okay. Well, that's not helpful.
It's in the dark.
I do
I'm
not
like,
approve of comedians looking at their watches. All right.
not
If
unless
you
you've
tell,
written a joke. I used to write a joke
yes,
where I would tap my watch.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I had a joke so I could, yeah, but you are telling the audience that you're bored and that you're thinking of getting out. Don't do that. Don't look at your watch. Now, no one wears watches. Don't look at your wrist reflexively, and don't look at your phone to see what time it is. But do it till you get the
I
fucking
sometimes
red
look at
light.
my watch.
Don't.
But a lot of the shows now, a lot of the showrooms have giant digital clocks now, which is awesome.
It is awesome, but then it's like then I'm like, I'll be telling a joke and I'll be at the 20-minute mark and I'll be like, was I at the 18 mark last night here or was I at the 22? Then I get
Oh,
really weird
oh
about my
wow. Then you're in your
splits.
head.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
a little weird. I kind of like
Oh,
to
that's
just talk
interesting.
into the darkness until I see my first red light. I often ask for a 40 and a 50. And I see the first one
Okay.
and I think, I'm rounding third base. And I can take
You're
and then
safe.
I get the second one and I'm like, whatever I want. Whatever I want. I love it. So I do these. So we wrote for like a couple hours a day. It's hard. It's good, but it was hard. We read the whole thing and then we started taking it scene by scene. And it involves my mother's death and dialogue that would be between me and my mother. So it's hard to like. It's hard. It's not
Yeah,
an
that
easy one to
sounds.
write. And we found this great place called The Graduate, and I think it's like a really old uh it's like an old hotel that they refurbished to make look old inside. Like I think
Okay.
they're like, let's redo it, but we don't want anyone to know we redid it. So it's like it's all brand new looking, but at the same time old. But it was
Okay.
really nice, and we hung out there and did that. And those nights I did not do any spots. I didn't want to be worrying about doing spots. So Monday through Thursday, no spots, just working. I just existed
Right.
like a normal person, and I had a commute in and out. I had the reverse commute, but still, I was like, I don't know how people. This is horrible. This is horrible. Horrible way to live. Um. Then Friday, Saturday, had my spot. Saturday, holy shit. So Saturday, I had an 8:10 at the Broadway, a 9 at the Stand, a 10 at the Broadway, and 11 at the Stand. Right? Bing, bing,
Ooh.
bing. And I was able to do the Q or the R or the N or the W, the yellow lines
Oh
between each
wow.
one, all four spots. I didn't have to take a cab.
Oh, that's
All
amazing.
four. Yes. Now
Yeah,
we're
that you
making
saved
killing
like
me. Yeah.
$50. Yeah,
Oh, at least. It was nice. Uh
that is nice. How your
I
boots holding up?
They're doing okay. They're doing okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
good, good.
I swam twice. I'm on the hunt for a New York pool. Okay. The Riverbank
Okay.
pool at the end of 145th is like under construction. But even when it's not, if the hours are like 5:30 in the morning or 5:30 at night, it's like, no, I can't do either of those.
Wow.
So there are
Yeah.
these two pools called Asphalt Green. One of them's in Battery Park City, which is way down the A line.
Way
And the other
down.
one's
Yeah.
on the Upper East Side, 90th and York. It's not near any train whatsoever, right?
Right.
Both of them are a
You'd have
massive pain in the ass to get to.
because
So
isn't Harlem, is that Upper West Side?
yeah, that
I mean, way
up
up, way
no,
up. Yeah.
York and 90th is Upper East Side, but like
East
almost in the
Side.
river. Yes.
Yeah.
York is on the east side.
And you live in Harlem, right?
Yes, West Harlem. Yeah. So
That's it.
you have to take the train down to 86th and take a crosstown bus over. Either way, it's about 45 minutes to
Wow.
get. Like the thing with New York is if it's not right next to you, it's at least an hour to get to wherever you're going, right?
Right.
It's annoying. But my God, these pools. Okay. So the Battery Park City, it's like a smaller pool. It's a little newer. These are great. Look, they're great. They're like the Y on steroids. They have both of these asphalt greens. They're very expensive too. $35 to
Oh.
swim.
Oh wow.
And then
Yeah, that's
tonight I went to the Mama Bear, the big one, the one on the Upper East Side, and it's a 50-meter pool. It's incredible. It's incredible.
Oh, that's your favorite. The 50 meter.
Yeah. And
I now know that.
thank
So
you. It's nice and deep. It was set up for yards. I had to be there really early in the morning for it to be set up with leaders. And they had a bulkhead and they had a water polo going on at the other end of the pool. But
okay.
I shared a lane, but I had a lane to myself for a lot of it. The pool's open till 8 p.m. on Sunday. I mean, it's heaven.
Wow.
And now, however, the whole experience is like 45 minutes there an hour in the pool, 15 minutes getting dressed again, and then at 45 minutes. It's a significant amount of time. I couldn't
Right.
swim every day,
Right.
but I could swim a little bit, so it was nice.
Yeah.
And then when I got out, as happens when I swim, all these these ideas that were sort of like in little pieces in my head, they all moved together and they connected. And it's weird, like how
Oh.
you could be like, go from like a month of that really coming up with anything new, but you have stuff going on in your head, and you're like, oh, I don't know. And then it's like they're magnets; they all come together.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know.
That's
So
awesome.
for me, the pool often loosens all of that stuff up. So that was nice to be able to swim twice this trip.
Right. Because but that is a haul. That's so weird that there's nothing up towards. Do you know where the cloisters are?
Yeah, that's like in
That
the
map.
180s, I think. Yeah, it's up there.
Oh, it's up
70s,
another.
80s. Yeah,
It's tens and tens of blocks away.
I've been there
Okay.
once.
I've been there
I went to,
twice.
I
I
went,
like
I
it.
went, yeah, it's pretty. I went to the Met today. I was like, if
Oh
I'm going to
wow.
be on the Upper East Side, I might as well go see a museum. Go to a museum first. So hung out with some El Grecos, some Caravaggios. It was nice. Very nice.
Well, did you say hi for me? That'd be great.
No, I did not. I'm sorry.
Um,
I did not.
all right. Yeah, it was a long way to go for one set, this Oregon thing. But
Oh, that is for 125-minute set.
yeah. Yeah. And Hari was like, I'm super rusty. Will you close? And I was like, yeah, of course. We're doing 25s. It doesn't matter who closes. And he's like, I just like that. I'm gonna have that sweet spot after the 310s. And then I should do well. So I'm watching him crush.
Oh,
And I
God.
walk back into the green room
Infuriating.
and say to Jay, yes, I was like, oh, so rusty, poor guy. How will he live? He's destroying in front of me, and then I didn't get the light. I didn't see it, and so I had to ask. Actually, at one point, I was like, because it felt like 30 minutes, and so then she flickered the lights. They flickered the lights, and I did another 5. So I ended up doing 35, and which is always, I got to work on I've also made a decision. I don't all I can think about honestly is this new album and the new special, and now I'm trying to figure out where to do it because I don't think I'm going to do it at Acme in June.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to, just because I think it's going to be too busy, and I've already done 2 there. So I kind of want it to look different.
Yeah.
So who knows? Hey, we never did comic of the week, Kyle.
Oh, yes, let's do that.
Let's do that first.
Okay, our comic of the week. So I don't know her, but I was at the Broadway and she's got a big old billboard up there. She's doing a headlining show at the Broadway. Her name's Cousin Tiera. And I'm always on the hunt for female comics, right? So I look her up. I'm like, oh, she has 250,000 followers. Of course.
Right.
I don't know her. I haven't heard of her. And she's got like 10 times the amount of followers. So I went on her Instagram. The audio on her stand-up sets, it was horrible. Girl, you got to fix that. But you know what? Maybe you don't. I mean, she's fucking headlining. She doesn't need it. Maybe that's whatever.
Yeah.
So I couldn't
Maybe
hear
that's your
much.
hook.
Yeah. But what I heard was the audience roaring. So she's killing when she's on stage, and the clips I found on Instagram were really hard to hear. It was just like, it felt like, it wasn't dedicated audio. So it had a lot of, it was a lot of echo of the room.
But I believe in the audience at this point. So I say,
I do too.
let's go with it. Yeah,
I
Cousin
trust a
Tiera.
crowd
How's
that's
that
killing.
spelled?
Cousin
my
Tiera.
cousin MyCousin_TIERA. Go follow.
Yes.
It's me again talking about Max Fun because it's the drive. They have this library full of special bonus content you can enjoy from all of the shows, all the Max Fun shows, and it's gotten pretty big over the years. And some of them are team ups, and some of them are between Max Fun hosts, or they have special guests, or there's just interesting topics or extended versions of the episodes, and you get access to the entire library of bonus content for every single Max Fun show when you join at $5 a month or more. So if you're thinking of strictly about value, that's a pretty incredible value. You can stop the voices for days and days on end with all the Max Fun joy. And we're excited for this year, right, Laurie?
We are. We're going to do a bonus episode. Jackie is going to trash people by name. And if she tries to celebrate anyone, I will cut the mic because I don't want to hear that shit. And we have
Shut it down. Nobody's paying for that.
We have a really cool pin. This would be my favorite pin. The pin design this year. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So if you get in on a minimum level, $5 a month, you get the pin, and it's pretty sweet. I can't recommend it more. So I'm just asking you, we're both asking you, will you please join us as a member? And please pick us. Don't go picking these other podcasts when you have to select who your money goes to. Pick the old Jackie and Laurie crew. Say something from my heart. No.
I refuse.
From my heart.
I've
said it before.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, I got to say what's in Laurie's heart, which is you got to pay for art, you guys. You got to do it. You can't just, if you're getting a lot of free stuff, and $5 a month, that's not even a latte. Come on in.
We're not taking your data, okay? We're not.
Listener. Yeah, no, I'm pulling you over to the side. They can't hear me. All right. If you really, really want to get your money out of this, $60 gets you those bonus episodes. You go ask those people following Jackie and Laurie what happened. You ever wish this show had The Shining in it with a whole bunch of almost legally liable situations? That's worth $5 a month just to be able to live with that kind of secret. All right, we're gonna walk back over to Jackie and Laurie and pretend like I didn't try to eat 30 seconds of this 4-minute ad.
Yes. Thank you, Kyle. Listen, thank you guys
for taking taking a bullet right there.
You know what? If this was Law and Order, you would have to pay by watching commercials, but it's not. It's comedy and despair, and there's no commercials. We tell you all of it all the time. Okay, so please help out.
I will tell you something. What we tell you on this show is actually very helpful. We tell you how to negotiate for money, and we encourage you to keep writing, and we encourage you to stand up for yourself, and we encourage you to be your best. So that I think the show has actually helped a lot of comics because we vent. Okay, so we vent so that you don't have to. But the thing is people hear it and they know that they're not crazy. You have to know when you do stand-up comedy that it's not you. It is the club owner. I'm so sorry.
Jackie, I disagree.
Not all club owners. Hashtag not all club owners.
Is still doing comedy after listening to this podcast. Clearly, we didn't help or do our jobs. Okay? All right.
So, what does it mean to you? Own your own show and to have your own show on the network that's owned by its workers? You go to MaximumFun.org/join, and then you pitch in, and we say thank you for doing it.
Yeah.
Woo! All right. So this week I'm home for 2 days, and then I go to Tennessee.
Oh my God, Jackie!
To open for Maria. It's Nashville, Chattanooga, Cherokee. I don't know the names of the towns.
Chattanooga. Are you guys working the comedy catch, or are you working the theater?
I believe it's a theater. Yeah.
Oh,
so
nice.
it goes. Yeah. So it goes. It's Nashville, Knoxville, Chattanooga, and then Athens, Georgia, where the Harlem Globetrotters will be playing the same night So we can't afford to get hotel rooms, and we have to drive to Atlanta after the show in Athens
They don't
and
have
stay at the
hotel rooms
airport at
available?
Atlanta. There's not available. There were some kind of on the outlying areas, but they were $500 each a night.
Oh my God.
So we're just
Wow.
gonna. So if it was gonna be an hour drive anyway, we might as well drive another hour.
Yeah.
Whatever it is from Athens to Atlanta, and then just go stay by the airport.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you'll be kind of pumped up anyway, so you might as well do it, not have to do it in the morning. Chattanooga is a cool little town. I worked the Comedy Catch frequently when Michael, I forget his last name, owned it, but I think he sold it to someone who hates me. The last time I worked it was right before I started at Conan. Like, they gave me the job, and I was like, I have this gig, and they're like, hey, you could start the week after. So it was like my last pre-Conan road week.
Oh, right.
And
Then it was in Chattanooga.
And the hotel I was at, the lamp, like, I had no lights. Like, I think the lamp was broken and everything was broken. And I was like, this is a fitting ending to this part of my career.
Right, this sort of road. You can look forward to it as we go into our decline. I have to say this, the Cannon Beach motel that we stayed at was a very nice room. Did not have a bathtub, very sad. I was unclean for 2 days. And then the day of the show, I
Ew.
was like,
Yeah.
take a shower, Jackie.
Yes.
So that nobody has to be around you. Anyway, so I did take a shower. But it was the kind of room. Well, first of all, I don't care what beach town hoopla, like what hippie lifestyle you think is living. I still want a deadbolt or at least a chain lock.
Yes.
There was
Yes.
all there was a doorknob lock.
No.
And
did you move
It was
furniture?
I had to put yes, like a person who doesn't want to be surprised if someone comes into
Oh
the
my
room.
God. Of
And
course.
that's what I did. Here's the other thing. No blackout curtains.
Oh.
So there were these sunlights above that woke me up every morning at 7:15.
Oh my God. Oh no.
And I did say to Andy, I was talking to him one night, and I said, I may get up. The sunrise is supposed to be at 7:30. I may go. The ocean's right there. I might go watch the sunrise. And Andy said, in your world, if you were to step out, where does the sun rise, Jackie? North, south, east, or west? And I was like, oh, right. Yeah, sun's always going to set in the west. It's always going to rise in the east. And I'm never going to see a sunrise over the ocean.
Yeah, you turn it to
Not
the
over
other
the
turn to
ocean,
the
though.
other side, you see it over the freeway. It's always so pretty that
Yes. It's always over the freeway. That is true. You always have an option to watch the sunrise over the freeway. So the Tennessee gig, we're flying in. She's coming in from Philly, I think. They went for some family thing for her. And then I'm flying in day of, going to the hotel and then doing the show. And then I believe we sleep in Nashville. We sleep with the Fishes. And we get up the next day and we drive to Knoxville. And then I think
I've never been to
the
Knoxville.
Wednesday night, the Wednesday one is at Zany's.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's Zany's Nashville?
Which
Interesting.
is always
I wonder
nice.
if the booker will be there. The
He-
woman who
the- oh,
stopped
that
booking
woman?
me.
The new woman?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she's
I
not new. She's
never-
been at Zany's forever, but she took over the whole Zany's empire.
When Bert retired, I think, or whatever
Yeah.
his name was.
Okay.
Yeah. I think she asked my agent last year before he retired if I wanted to do Rosemont. And I had to say no. Because I don't.
Right. I don't know. I don't understand that
but you'll-
word, and I don't know why you said it.
Rose-
But you know what?
I know.
Rosemont? No.
Okay.
The word no to a week of work.
Oh, the word no. Oh, that's the word that you have a hard time with. Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, and then I'm home. I get home, I believe, on Monday. And then we're going to go bury Chris and Fran up towards Chico and Yuba City in Oroville.
Yeah. Aw.
And that'll be sweet.
Yeah.
That'll be very sweet. And then we come back, and then I think, I don't know, I just, there is a benefit that I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
at a domestic, just a benefit for a domestic abuse uh, thing in Oshkosh, Wisconsin in October.
Okay.
But I really wanted them to book Mary Mack for it because she's right there. And as cute as Oshkosh is as a town, there's no reason for me to go to Oshkosh. So
Well, you see your dad. But that's not till October. How come you're already talking about it now?
because I tried to do Never Say No Without a Number, and they met my number.
Oh, sure.
So
I mean,
that's what happened
good
there.
for you. I
Yeah.
decided, so I'm at 95,000 Instagram, right?
That's
and
right.
now to get there, I just take constant abuse from angry men. And I think if I hit 100, when I hit 100, I'm going to
Mhm.
archive that reel because it's getting to be a lot.
Yeah. That's it. And archive it. Don't delete it, obviously, because
Right.
then you still get the views.
Right.
I'm at 100,000, and I have not broken 100,000. What I want is 100,000.1, and then I'll relax.
Yeah.
For some reason, that's because then it won't be a fluke.
Right. Well, it's just like it's weird. Like, is this the way with all women, where women influencers or any women on the internet, you get numbers by being abused by men? That's how you get to where you are. Is that it?
I didn't. The numbers. I mean, I think that the one that blew up just happened to be one that busted on them. But are you also getting a lot of comments where people think it's hilarious?
Yeah. Yes, from women and
Yeah.
them cool then. But yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
saying it's a lot. And Jackie, I'm just objectively speaking, I'm being called ugly by the most unattractive men I've ever seen on the internet. I would take
Why
it from
wouldn't you?
a handsome
Of
guy.
course.
You know?
Right. Like if
I would
Luigi
take
told
it.
you that you weren't good looking, you'd be like, I see where you're coming from.
No, I'd be
Because you look in
disappointed.
the mirror.
No,
You'd be disappointed.
if let's see, if Antonio Banderas said that, I'd be like, you know what? Fair point. You look great to me. I get it. I'll try to do better. But these guys, they look like all the guys that are out at Bob's Big Boy in the cars on every Sunday, right? Showing off their car. It's unbelievable.
Very specific. LA, Burbank centric, you guys. So it's not Fred 62 on a
She's
Friday
right, though.
afternoon. Right, she's not wrong. I'm not saying she's wrong.
100% right. 100% right.
So
How
Just a-
like are we close to? I'm so.
well,
We're
we got to
90
do
minute ad away
another.
from being done.
Oh,
We have to
are
do
we?
another ad?
And what do you think that we're close to an hour?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, we're this ad and we're home free.
Okay.
Okay. Well, then let me bring
Final
that
pitch,
up.
90 seconds, and then we have our lives back.
Final pitch, 90 seconds. You want to start with the recap?
Let's see. I'm looking for it.
All right.
Okay. All right, guys. If you have never been an Axe Fund member, try it out. It's just $5 a month. Enjoy the bonus content and be able to sleep at night. Finally, if you're already a member and you'd like to support a little more, we would certainly appreciate you upgrading your membership. Even just by boosting a few dollars a month really helps everybody, the whole organization. Do it now before you forget. You're not going to remember. Go to MaximumFund.org/join and just add a couple dollars or do the $5 minimum. We have a really cool pin that you'll get. And then we do bonus Zoom shows and bonus stuff for all of our Max Fund members. There's several cool thank you gifts you can check out when you head to Maximum Fund. And you can only get them for the 2 weeks of the Max Fund Drive. Jackie, what else?
Well, one of them is the cool pin that she recommended, and you can actually it's essentially it's the knife with the mic on it, and then it's got a sunburst behind it. You can actually see it on our social media accounts, and when you go to MaximumFun.org to join or to upgrade your membership, sample scripts for why member support. Oops. If you want to join or upgrade your membership. Okay. If I'm sure.
She's done
I'm
it
sure
once
you had
already. I
something.
just didn't
I'm
say
just
anything.
saying. I'm just saying, if you have something you love, a TV show, a podcast, canceled in the past year because the corporate overlords didn't think it made enough money, we don't have
Boo.
corporate overlords. Your bosses,
Yay.
you're our bosses. You decide whether we get to keep going. We can only do it with your help. And you may have heard that we also became the worker-owned co-op last year. And that means that shows can stay independent with support from a network run by people who actually care about the shows. And I like being part of Maximum Fun because it's worker-owned. And it's a co-op. And it means your membership dollars are stewarded by people at the network who are like you and care about the shows and love to listen to podcasts and do that kind of things. So,
And
Big
you
finish.
might already be supporting people on Patreon, things like that. That's great. We have chosen to partner with Max Fun because being with a community with them, I don't know, it just helps us. We feel like we're not part of the douchebag capitalist society. You know, we're with a bunch of other cool shows, and it's put on by cool people, and it's nice to be a part of that energy and not be doing mattress ads every single time we log on. Shows exist like this because even if major advertisers don't see a profit in us, you know what? Maximum Fun does, and we appreciate that. And member support is the best way to do it. Just go to MaximumFun.org/join and sign up. Support your favorite show, The Jackie and Laurie Show. Come on now.
thank you for your support in all ways, just so you know.